here, and we already started to, of course, as we just mentioned, experience some of this wintry weather. We've got the ice, we've got snow starting up, blizzard conditions developing as the wind picks up today, winter storm warnings as well. Here's a look at the latest alerts. Blizzard warning in effect, Devil's Lake down toward Jamestown, much of eastern North Dakota and into northwest Minnesota, including Grand Forks. Fargo under that winter storm warning, and then that line here of red, anybody under that warning can expect both ice and that potential for that heavy snow. And ice storm warning down into parts of South Dakota, surrounding areas in that winter weather advisory. So let's take a look at some of our conditions around the valley. This is a DOT cam view from the Red River Bridge along I-94 in Fargo. You can see we've got wet roads here. It's slick. We've been talking about some of our vehicles being iced over, some slick sidewalks. Areas that are not treated are going to be on the icy side in a lot of these places today. And that's all thanks to this Colorado low lifting into the upper Midwest now, and it's bringing us all this moisture, and on the cold side of it we get that transition zone to freezing rain to sleet. Fargo right in the middle of it, as we've been expecting for this morning, and then down into southeastern North Dakota. This is the area where I'm expecting to see the thickest ice buildup. Stretching back up toward places like Bemidji. Already seeing blue on the map here for snow in places like Jamestown, and then warmer weather to the south and east means rain initially here for those places like Wadena and Fergus Falls. The wind is already strong. We've got gusts into the 30s, 40 miles per hour in Jamestown. That's going to reduce your visibility right away here this morning in those snowy areas, and those winds will continue to be strong. Shaky camera down at the Dakota Magic Casino as we're getting some precipitation there. Temperatures are below freezing in places like Fargo, and that's what I want you to pay most attention to here this morning, is what the temperature is when you're checking your VNL weather app for that number where you happen to be. If you see that low 30 range, even if it's 32, there's going to be some pockets that might be at the freezing mark or below that. If you see those numbers, just expect there to be ice on the roads, just in case. We're looking at 29 in Fargo, 32 in Bemidji with rain being reported there. Devil's Lake is only at 18. A look at your planner. Cold all day, wind, snow all day. Eventually we'll see that transition in Fargo to snow, and then those conditions that become difficult as far as visibility is concerned, and snow buildup will happen. Starts with ice for some of us though. Fargo right in the middle of that ice potential, stretching back over again to Bemidji, and then on top of that we get the snow. We're still looking at areas, especially in eastern North Dakota, in that 12-inch range or more. Now this is a large area. It doesn't mean this whole area will get a foot of snow, but the potential is there to receive a foot or more. And then we get that drop off here where I've circled the area where we're more likely to see ice or rain, which would eat into our snowfall totals. Still getting the moisture, just not building up the snow. So there could be a sharp drop off or highly variable amounts by the time this is all said and done from around that FM area and then points south. So just giving you a heads up about that. But bottom line here is it's going to be hazardous everywhere. We're looking at freezing rain and ice, and anywhere where snow is falling, we've got that wind, and that's going to be an issue whether you're picking up a few inches of snow or maybe a foot or two coming our way. So more details on the timing of this, what we are seeing out there. Right now, we'll check in on some of our DOT cameras and our Skycam network around the valley and let you know what to expect if you're trying to head out the door. Might be a good idea just to stay put this morning, though.
Oh, absolutely. A lot to break down and go over right there. Thank you, Lisa.
Now, if you have kids in the school this year, your morning routine will be switching up today because of that weather. We've already heard from more than 50 school districts that are either closing, starting late, or moving to that virtual learning.
Moorhead, West Fargo, DGF, Jamestown, Valley City, Grand Forks, and East Grand are just some of the districts right now in storm mode this morning. You can check the complete list at valleynewslive.com and on our VNL News app. A big reminder, though, slow it down if you're out on the roads. We are continuing team coverage right now with a look at what you're up against in the Fargo-Moorhead area. That's
where we find the valley. Today's Jillian Trudeau giving us a live look at the conditions on those roads right now. Good morning, Jillian. Where are you and what's it like?
Yeah, guys, there's a lot of ways to describe this morning, but I wouldn't necessarily call it good. It's very wet, very cold, very windy out here. We just got off of the first exit off of I-94 here in Moorhead. We're at the Holiday here and on Highway 75, where most of these main roads are being treated. And I know that because when we went and drove on I-94, we got behind some of the liquid de-icers. So if you get behind one of those, make sure that you are being safe, you're being far away, and you don't get sprayed and lose that visibility that you can have on the road. But in your morning commute, make sure that you take your time. make sure that you leave a little earlier to work so that you can drive slower. Even on treated roads, this wind is brutal, and the rain hasn't let up since I got up this morning, so the ice will be there, and it could be very slippy for you guys on your morning commute this morning. Later on in the shows, we'll go to more untreated roads and see how those conditions are, but right now in Moorhead, I'm Jillian Trudeau. Back to you guys in studio.
We can see that wet rain, freezing rain on the camera lens itself already right there. So please be safe this morning, Jillian. Thank you.
9 crashes, 24 vehicles, and multiple injuries. We have new information this morning on the shutdown of I-94 from Valley City to Jamestown. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says icy roads are partly to blame for the mess that stopped traffic there for more than 3 hours. All started around 6:30 last night when a trooper stopped to help a jackknife semi near Jamestown.
Soon after stepping out of his squad car, which had emergency lights activated, he had to jump out of the way. That's when a driver smashed right into his patrol car. You see it there, and you can see how badly the back of that car is damaged. 7 crashes followed, one right after the other in that same area, involving about 24 cars total. Several people were rushed to the Jamestown hospital. Troopers say the worst injury was a broken leg. The highway was reopened around 10 last night, but conditions there and in many spots across the valley still icy.
Yeah, they're still icy, and we're going to be checking over those right now for you. We're taking a look at our North Dakota DOT maps. It really is along that I-94 line. We said near Jamestown is where that crash happened. It is yellow dotted line right now. That means that it is partially ice covered near Valley City. It's solid yellow line. That means that the interstate is fully ice covered there, so you need to watch out. And what we are looking at for the state is really the entire southern half of the state below I-94 is a travel alert. Now that includes Cass County, and then it cuts off just north of Trail County. Going to outline it here all along middle of the state, over to Montana, down to South Dakota, all the way back to the Red River. Major cities in that: Fargo, West Fargo, Wahpeton, Valley City, Jamestown. Now the entire southeastern portion of the state is in those yellow roads. That means that we're talking about ice conditions. More closer to Bismarck, we are talking about some snowy conditions there. Taking a quick check here of our Minnesota maps. Let's get a refresh so we have the very latest on what is happening there right now this morning. They are dealing with some issues around the Crookston area and then Ada, Halstead as well. Yep, it looks like we're still dealing with that. These pink colors on the map, that's Crookston right here, Fargo right there. That means fully covered around Mahnomen, Bagley, Clearbrook. That's blue, which is partially covered. Interstate partially covered as well from Fargo down to Pelican Rapids. So make sure you're careful if you need to head out on the roads. Ashlyn?
All right, thank you for that update, Jordan. New this morning, a Hillsboro man